Hi everyone, we are from Management Tutorial 1, Group 5. Today we will be talking about Chapter 5, Managing Change and Innovations. I'm Lizoe and I'll be explaining question 1 and 2. Now we look at question 1. Why is managing change an integral part of every manager's job? This is due to the reason that change is a constant in business. Change is any alteration or adaptation of an organization's structure, technology, or people. Managing change is essential for every manager because they have to adapt to the market changes where they ensure the organization remains competitive as market trends evolve. Besides, managers plays a crucial role in supporting employees' well-being by assisting them in managing transitions, minimizing resistance and stress. Manager also plays a very important role in encouraging innovation and strengthening resilience in order to ensure a smooth transitions and organizational success by effectively leading changes. Next is question 2. Contrast the calm waters and whitewater rapids metaphors of change. Which of these would you use to describe your current life, and why is that one your choice? As you can see, both metaphors are used to describe changes in business, but what are the differences between them? In calm water metaphor, change happens in a controlled, planned manner. It's like a ship encountering a tempestuous storm during their long journey on a calm sea. Whereas for whitewater rapid metaphor, change is constant, chaotic, and unpredictable. It is usually used to describe new organizations navigating themselves through sudden twists, turns, or obstacles on their new journey. And it is not just a singular event but a continuous process. For managers in calm water metaphor, they use Kurt Lewin's three-step model to handle change in such circumstances, which is unfreezing the status quo, changing to a new state, and freezing the new change to make it permanent. Whereas for managers in whitewater rapid metaphor, they have to be very flexible, adapt quickly, and encourage resilience among their teams in order to survive the rapid waves. If I were to choose one of the metaphors to describe my current life, I'll go with whitewater rapid metaphor. If I were to choose one of the metaphors to describe my current life, I'll go with whitewater rapid metaphor. If I were to choose one of the metaphors to describe my current life, I'll go with whitewater rapid metaphor. If I were to choose one of the metaphors to describe my current life, I'll go with whitewater rapid metaphor. If I were to choose one of this resonates with me because life is full of challenges. It's constantly changing, which require quick adjustment to meet new challenges. So it's much like navigating rapid waters. For example, when you finally make it in time for your assignment due, it turns out that your turn-it-in percentage is extremely high, which you have to have quick adjustment to decrease the percentage of AI detected. And in the end, turned out that your assignment is out of context. So it's much like waves over waves. So the fast pace demands flexibility and adaptability, making this metaphor more fitting than calm waters, which calm waters imply steadiness and predictability. Because for rapid water, it's unpredictable.
Hi, my name is Natasha and I will be discussing question 3. Describe Lewin's three-step change process and how is it different from the change process needed in the whitewater rapids metaphor of change. First, Lewin's three-step change process. This model views change as a structured and planned process. It begins with unfreezing the status quo, where an organization prepares for change by identifying the need, and overcoming resistance. It can be achieved by increasing the drawing forces or decreasing the restraining forces. Then comes the change itself, which means implementing a desired change, developing new behavior through organizational structure and process changes. Finally, the process ends with refreezing, where the changes are solidified and stabilized to ensure they become the new norm. On the other hand, the whitewater rapids metaphor views change as constant, chaotic, and natural states of affairs. Unlike Lewin's structured approach, this metaphor assumes that organizations are always in a state of flux, requiring managers to continuously adapt. There is no stable state to return to, as change is ongoing and iterative, making stability and predictability less relevant. In conclusion, Lewin's three-step change process is ideal for structured and planned changes in stable environment. In contrast, whitewater rapids metaphor focuses on continuous adaptation and unpredictable change. Each approach has value depending on different needs and challenges. Next, I will be discussing question 4. How are opportunities, constraints, and demands related to stress? Give an example of each. Stress is the response to anxiety over intense demands, constraints, and opportunities. Opportunities represents the possibility of something new and something never done. Constraints refers to the obstacles that prevent a person from doing what he or she desire, and demands refers to the loss of something desired, also defined as opportunity cost of achieving a task. Now, let's look at the example. Simon is a university student who works part-time to support himself financially. His coursework is demanding, and his part-time job requires him to work 20 hours per week. First, opportunities. Simon sees his jobs as an opportunity to build skills and obtain practical experience that will benefit him in his future. He is also able to support himself financially. However, he feels stressed to balance school and work as he is concerned about finding adequate time for both. Next, constraints. Simon's time is constrained by his packed schedule, which makes it difficult for him to engage in social events and extracurricular activities. This makes him stressed about his capacity to handle everything well. Lastly, demands. Simon's schedules demands careful time management as he faces heavy coursework. His jobs also requires him to maintain consistent performance. As a result, he has limited time for rest or personal interests as he must meet expectations in both areas, leading to exhaustion and stress. In conclusion, opportunities, constraints, and demands interplay to create stress, as seen in Simon's case, where balancing these competing factors highlights the challenges of daily life.
Okay, so my name is Ami Ashraf bin Muhammad Rusni. So I will be presenting the questions 5.5. So organizations typically have limits to how much change they can absorb. So as a manager, what signs would you look for that might suggest your organizations has exceeded its capacity to change? Okay, so any change, even if it's something good, can be stressful on people. So it's not surprising that only 34% of change initiatives are clearly successful. So accepting change itself is difficult for people. So how much more can they do if you overload them with changes? So changing too much or changing too often leads to problems in the workplace. So aside from thinking about how you change, you should also think about how much you are changing. All right. Okay, what is change saturation? So change saturation is the point at which an organization or its employees can no longer effectively absorb additional changes. So when an organization reach its change saturation threshold, so we have threshold, so further change are likely to be met with resistance, fatigue, and also decreased performance. Okay, what is meant by change fatigue versus change saturations? So it is a different phase where the change fatigue, it is more on how employees feel, in which they are emotionally tired. Also, Change saturations is all about the organization's capacity in which the system is overwhelmed. So uh, both of these change fatigue and change saturations need attention for a successful change management as they are interconnected to each other. So when an organization is change saturated, so employees are more likely to experience change fatigue, making it essential to manage both effectively. All right. Okay, so in these slides, we have a study by Precise found that the consequence of an organizations which has exceeded the threshold changes. He divided into three categories. The first one is the individual symptoms. Second is project symptoms, and also the third one is the organizational symptoms. Okay, so when employees experience excessive or poorly managed organizational changes, so it can lead to a specific behavioral and emotional response. So these are known as individual symptoms. So and reflect how employees struggle to cope with the volume, the pace, and also with the complexity of changes. Okay, point number one is the disengagement, apathy, and indifference. So disengaged employees will reduce the overall team productivity, innovation, and also creating a ripple effect on the organizational culture. Burnout on burnout and fatigue. So burnout will increase absenteeism in the workplace, and also while fatigue lowers the work quality and also the responsiveness in the performance. Lastly, the confusion. Confusion is related to the job scope, and the employees may be uncertain about the priorities and also their roles due to the poor communications or poorly coordinated change initiative. Okay, so moving on to the project symptoms. So lack of resources, what it means by that, the project may not have enough staff, not enough budget, tools, or materials to meet their goals. So why it happens is because there is overlapping initiatives can stretch the available resources too thin, so leaving the project underfunded or understaffed. Point number two is delays and schedules implications. So what it means that projects take longer to complete than planned, so pushing the deadlines further out. So why it happens is because the resources shortage, miscommunication, and complexity of managing multiple changes simultaneously, hence it will disrupt the project timelines. Last but not least is the missed deadlines. So the key project milestones and final delivery dates are not met. So why it happened is because the overburdened teams or unforeseen challenges prevent the timely progress. So lack of proper planning and also prioritizations exacerbates the problem. Okay, so moving on to the organization symptoms. So the first point is the automatic resistance, the instinctive pushback against the new initiative, the new changes. And number two is reduced focus on operations. So what it means by that, the attention and resources which are required for the day-to-day operations has deflected, meaning they focus on merely on the to manage the new changes instead of focus on what is the most priority, which is the operation itself. And the last point is the high attrition and turnover. So what it means by that, employees leave the organizations due to dissatisfactions, due to stress, and also frustration with the constant rate of change. So why it happens is because the prolonged exposure to poorly managed changes creates a toxic working environment, so leaving the employees feeling unsupported or undervalued. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.
I am Chang Sihui, Let's start the case study 1, which is defeating the system. Here are 10 summary points for case 1. First, in 2015, Volkswagen was caught installing software to manipulate emission tests and mislead regulators. Second, researchers discovered Volkswagen vehicle emitted nearly 40 times allowed pollutant while on the road. Third, software adjusted engine performance during testing to comply temporarily and caused excessive emissions while driving. Fourth, the manipulation involved an estimated 11 million cars globally, including 500,000 in the US. Fifth, Volkswagen's aggressive and high-pressure corporate culture has fostered unethical practices. Sixth, CEO Martin Winterkorn resigned and claiming ignorance while other executives suspended. 7. Volkswagen initially blamed technical issues and underreported affected cars before admitting the deceptions scare. 8. In 2017, Volkswagen pleaded guilty to criminal charges, including $20 billion in fines and a U.S. exclusive 7-year prison sentence. 9. New leadership emphasized cultural change, transparency, and accountability to prevent tasks. Lastly, Volkswagen switched focus to autonomous driving, electric vehicle, and encouraged ethical innovation.
For question 11, I think both external and internal forces are involved in this change. The external forces would be the regulatory and legal pressure as researchers and US Environmental Protection Agency EPA exposed the violation of Volkswagen. If researchers and the EPA did not find out about the violation, the company would most likely to continue selling cars equipped with softwares that tricks emissions test. In addition, market and consumers' perception also forces the company to change to earn back trust and consumers' loyalty. The company's stock price lost value by 40% in 2 weeks and declined in sales in the UK due to this emission scandal. The change of leadership and management also illustrates the internal forces of change. Leadership shifts from Martin Winterkorn to Matthias Moeller and then Herbert Dias, bringing new approach to managing the crisis and new vision for the company. Volkswagen environment can be described as whitewater rapids. The company faced a dramatic and sudden crisis due to the emission scandal. The company has to respond quickly to changing conditions such as legal issues due to its unethical actions, public backlash, and the company's financial performance that has been affected in terms of sales and stock market price. Change needs to happen in Volkswagen. So for question 12, I think change needs to happen with the people of Volkswagen in terms of employee behavior. For example, emphasizing on the importance of being ethical and highlighting consequences of unethical behavior to make employees comply with Volkswagen ethics while doing their work. A change in structure should also be implemented in authority relationships. For example, Volkswagen can encourage whistleblowing by providing a safe and anonymous channel for employees to report any unethical and illegal actions to the upper management without fear of reprisal. Work teams can also be created to allow clear communication and transparency among the workers with related departments. For example, Volkswagen can create work teams between engineering department, R&D department, and environmental and sustainability department to solve challenges faced in building a clean diesel engine that fulfills the government's allowance for on-the-road emissions. Organizational development OD is the effort to assist organizationals with a plan change. One of the efforts might work at Volkswagen is process consultation. Recruiting outside consultants to help managers perceive, understand, and act on organizational process they're facing. For example, an outside consultant could be recruited by Volkswagen, reveals that the company's culture might be unhealthy for employees' motivation. Managers at Volkswagen will then solve the problem diagnosed by doing cultural transformation programs such as providing workshops and training, establishing open communications between management and employees. Besides that, employees in Volkswagen can be asked to answer a set of specific questions regarding how they view such organizational aspects, such as decision making and leadership, through survey feedback. For example, the company can ask employees to fill up a survey to gauge their feelings about the new CEO and the direction the company is heading. This data is used to clarify problems that the employees in Volkswagen might be facing. Then the manager could take action to solve the problem. Challenges faced by managers in making these changes are resistance from employees. For example, Volkswagen employees are hesitant to communicate their ideas with the management as they are not used to this new culture.
Hi everyone, my name is Eun Yun Feng. I'll be answering the questions 514. Look at the reasons people resist change. Which do you think are happening at Volkswagen, and what approaches would you recommend for overcoming this resistance to change? Give your rationale for each approach you choose. Firstly, I think the reason is uncertainty. Employees may fear the unknown, especially with the shift toward ethical practices and structural realignment. To address this, Volkswagen should implement transparent communication by clearly explaining the rationale, benefits, and staff of the change. This will help reduce fear and provide clarity on what the future holds. Secondly, I think the reasons will be habit. The existing performance-driven culture may make employees of Volkswagen resistant to adapting new practices. To counter this, training and development program can help employees adapt to new workflows and instill ethical decision-making as a standard practice. Lastly, concern over personal interests. Employees of Volkswagen may feel that new policies could threaten their roles, performance metrics, and career progressions. Addressing this requires involving employees in the change progress to show them how these changes align with both organizational and individual goals. Regular feedback sessions and open forums can help reassure employees that their concerns are being heard. Going forward to question 515, is an innovative culture always going to be at odds with an ethical culture? Or is an innovative and ethical culture possible? I believe that an innovative culture often at odds with an ethical culture. Why? This is because the drive for innovation is filled with a race to be the first to create something new or better, which can tempt individuals or organizations to cut corners to gain a competitive edge. Well, not everyone behaves unethically in pursuit innovations, but many do. The case of Volkswagen illustrates my statement perfectly. In 2014, just a year before its emission scandal, Volkswagen reported a profit of over $12 billion. Instead of investing in making their vehicle compliant with regulations, they chose to install software to manipulate emission test results. Obviously, this decision prioritized performance and market success over integrity. Unfortunately, Volkswagen is not an isolated case. Well-known companies like Skechers and Olay have also been caught engaging in unethical practices. Skechers falsely claimed its shoes could burn calories by just wearing it, while Olay misrepresented its ice cream effectiveness by retouching a model's photo. These three examples demonstrate that unethical behavior often emerges in the pursuit of innovations, and as unfortunate as it is, this pattern seems deeply rooted in the competitive business environment nowadays. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now, moving forward to case study 2, the next big thing. Here are the 10 summary points for case study 2. First, Kevin Prank founded Under Armour to solve the issue of heavy, sweat-soaked cotton shirts during sport by creating lightweight, moisture-wicking appeal. Second, the first compression shirts gained instant popularity for its performance-enhancing quality. Third, Under Armour continuously strives to innovate, believing its greater product is yet to be made. Fourth, Under Armour grew from a college startup to a $5 billion industry lead in 22 years, competing with giants like Nike. Fifth, brand used personal aesthetic connection to promote brand, secure endorsement from National Football League player and sport team. Sixth, a major milestone was partnering with retail chains like Garrett and Dick's Sporting Goods, which now account for most of the company's sales. 7. Beer apparel, the brand expanded into footwear, wearable fitness technology, and accessory to increase its market presence. 8. High security lab focused on creating advanced products like heart rate monitor shirts and water repellent fabrics. 9. Revenue drops in 2017 lead to restructuring, staff reduction, and issue with enterprise resource planning system implementation, which called as ERP system, that impacted operation. 10th, Plank remained committed to integrating technology into products, ensuring Under Armour continues to innovate and meet athlete needs.
Hi, my name is Lei Ro, and I'll explain question 516. What do you think of Under Armour's approach to innovation? Would you expect to see this type of innovation in an athletic wear company? Explain. From my perspective, I think Under Armour's approach to innovation is trailblazing the sports apparel market. This can be reflected with its dedication in pushing boundaries, aiming not just to create athletic wear, but to engineer performance-enhancing products. Next, Under Armour's approach to innovation is bold and deeply integrated into its brand identity. Under Armour passionately strives to make all athletes better by relentlessly employing technology in all products that aids in their performance and comfort. Moving on, would you expect to see this type of innovation in an athletic wear company? The answer is yes. This type of innovation is expected because athletic wear companies want to distinguish themselves in the competitive market. Athletic wear companies aside from Under Armour, like Nike or Adidas, are also increasingly leveraging technology and material science to meet the demands of athletes and fitness enthusiasts. However, Under Armour takes it a step further. While Nike and Adidas also innovate, Under Armour is uniquely aggressive in its technological applications. With its emphasis on research and development, Under Armour developed hundreds of patents for technology to enable athletes to perform at the top of their game. Under Armour's state-of-the-art innovation lab enabled them to explore concepts, build prototypes, and test processes. Next, Under Armour worked directly with athletes to get feedbacks and implement it across their products. For instance, Under Armour launched the Curry shoe line after signing the famous NBA superstar Stephen Curry, which was an instant hit. Aside from that, Under Armour also launched Athlete Recovery Sleepwear, which was inspired by the National Football League legend Tom Brady. Most importantly, Kevin Plank has the perception, which is being able to see things from unique perspective. Kevin Plank saw the shortcomings of the corner t-shirt he wore under the jersey, which he had to repeatedly change as it became wet and heavy throughout the game. He thought there had to be a better alternative. From that idea, it has led to Inception, where Plank started working on the prototypes of the shirts. He further perfected the design after receiving feedbacks from his Maryland teammates and friends who played the NFL. Finally, he officially launched Heat Care, which is a synthetic base layer that wick away sweat.
Hi, my name is Ian Tong, and I will explain question 517. What do you think UA's culture might be like in regards to innovation? From my perspective, in order to foster an innovative environment, positive feedbacks from managers to employees are really essential. Therefore, I think managers in UA will always provide positive feedback, encouragement, and support to the employees. Thus, employees will feel like their opinion and creative ideas receive attention. Besides, focus on ends instead of focusing on means might be their culture too, as employees are encouraged to consider alternative routes towards meeting the goals that have been set, and this actually encourages them to achieve the goals in their own creative and innovative ways as long as they can reach the goals. Moreover, tolerance of risk and conflict might be their culture too, as employees are encouraged to experiment and give their opinion without fear of any consequences should they fail. Furthermore, tolerance of conflict also foster an environment that allow all the employees to have diverse view and opinion.
Now I'll explain question 518, how might design thinking help Under Armour improve its innovation efforts? So, what is design thinking? According to Harvard Business School, design thinking is defined as a mindset and approach to problem solving and innovation anchored around human-centered design. There are 5 key steps in design thinking process, which is emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. The non-linear nature of design thinking allows these stages to carry out simultaneously, repeating, or even back to previous stages. The first step is empathize. Under Armour needs to understand athlete needs and pain points of its targeted users. Under Armour can leverage this step to create products and services that can resonate deeply with its customers. This can be seen in Under Armour's effort in conducting comprehensive research by capturing feedback from athletes and customers, observing athletes during trainings and competition to identify inefficiency of existing products, and having meetings with athletes. Moving on to the next step, define. In this step, Under Armour has to articulate the problem statement, which is to synthesize research insights gathered in empathize stage to define the clear problem statement. For instance, Under Armour places athletes at the center of their mind and identify their challenges and unmet needs such as comfort, durability, performance enhancement, or sustainability. Next is the ideate stage. In this stage, Under Armour creates a broad range of innovative solutions to solve the identified problem. Ideation provides both fuel and also source material for building prototypes and getting innovative solutions. In this case, Under Armour utilizes cross-functional teams, athlete input, innovation labs, and leverages technology and data to brainstorm creative ideas. Moving ahead, there is the prototype step. In this stage, Under Armour built early stage models with low resolution that is quick and cheap to make to test feasibility of the solutions. For instance, Under Armour uses 3D printings, virtual prototypes that eliminate pre-production waste and reduce developing time, and innovation labs to experiment with prototypes and elicit useful feedbacks. Lastly is the test stage. In this stage, Under Armour collect feedbacks from real users, be it athletes or fitness enthusiasts, by testing prototypes for refinement. This is where they make alterations or amendments to refine product until the ideal solution is met. In this case, Under Armour tests its prototypes by employing mechanical instrument testing, biomechanics, simulation, and consumer insights. All in all, by embedding the design thinking process, Under Armour can strengthen its commitment to innovation and maintain its competitive edge in the sportwear industry.
For question 519, what's your interpretation of the company's philosophy posted prominently over the door of its design studio? What does it say about innovation? Make a list of lessons that managers could learn from UA's innovation approach that you could share with real managers. We have not yet built our defining product. In my opinion, they posted the company's philosophy prominently over the door of its design studio, reflected Under Armour's belief in continuous improvement and a refusal for being complacent. It conveys that the company sees innovation as an ongoing process with limitless potential for creating a better product. And also, the way that they decided to post the company philosophy prominently over the door of its design studio, which their employees can see every day, is also a way to motivate them and encourage them to strive for new breakthrough. So, what it says about innovation? Innovation is a mindset. Under Armour view innovation not as a one-time event, but as a core part of its identity. Perpetual progress. The philosophy emphasizes that even with success, there's always room for improvement and new ideas. Future focus. By prioritizing what's next, the company fosters a culture of creative thinking and visionary goals. The question is, make a list of lessons that managers could learn from UA's innovation approach that you could share with real managers. First and foremost, never settle. Never settle means that managers should adopt a mindset of continuous improvement even when the company is performing well. They should always strive for new breakthrough. And the next lesson will be embed innovation into culture. They have to create an environment that encourages employees to think creatively and contribute to the process. For instance, make innovation a company-wide value and not only limited to R&D teams. Apart from that, focus on customer needs is one of the lessons that managers should learn. Just like how Under Armour's companies attempt to find a better way to connect with their female customer, I think it is vital to understand deeply what is the customer needs and design meaningful innovation.